I have received several comments on the discussion of a 30th anniversary expansion or DLC for Jurassic World Evolution 2. Now, with the end of Jurassic World Evolution 1, we did receive Return to Jurassic Park as our final DLC for that game, which kind of caught me off guard. I was not expecting it to be the final DLC. However, it is something that I really do feel, and I kind of fear that if they do it for Jurassic World Evolution 2, it could very well be the last thing they do, but they didn't do Jurassic World Evolution Return to Jurassic Park until about December, so they waited till the end of the year to go ahead and finish the game off. I'm kind of wondering if they'll wait to do the same if the idea for a release date is what I think it could be, which another person so graciously, that's more like it, graciously told, put in the comments what date that would be, and we will get to that date here shortly. But before we get to that, I want to say thank you guys for tuning into this video. It is a very big video in my opinion, something I really wanted to cover, so go ahead, kick back, grab yourself a drink, pop some popcorn, or just grab a snack, because we're going to be here for a little bit. We're going to be talking about what all should be and what I really do think could be the ultimate Jurassic Park 30th anniversary expansion. There would be not that many new dinosaurs, but it would be a lot more involved, probably about the same as it was with Return to Jurassic Park. We would be looking into a lot of not free, I don't know, I'm not entirely sure why I said free, but brand new things in ways of skins, and then some off the wall species, because there is one in particular that we have still missed from the Malta expansion, which is dropping as of now in 3 days, because today is the 5th at the time of recording this video. Yes, if Frontier really wanted to end this game off with a massive, bang, then they really would want to go back again to where everything began, which of course is Jurassic Park. Now, of course, there would be a lot of different things that they would have to go about, because we already do have a Return to Jurassic Park with a new story and all that, so they would probably have to go the Chaos Theory route, where it is a completely alternate storyline, bringing back a bunch of old characters and maybe even some very good voice actors to cover the bases of all the characters that we have in-game. Let's go ahead and cut over to my fancy pants little slideshow that I made over here, going over all the things that I think and honestly should be in the I'm trying to think, the Jurassic Park 30th anniversary expansion. Starting off with something I think you all are very eager to hear about would be the new dinosaurs and or reskins or remodels that we would be receiving in this expansion. So starting off with the new species, we'd be looking at the Hadrosaurus, which takes place in the novel. One thing I forgot to mention is that we would be focusing heavily on the novel themes of this expansion. Going with the animals that appear in the park in the novel would be the Hadrosaurus, the Microceratops, which of course we've been waiting on all this time, and I do think would actually play a big role in Jurassic Park 30th Anniversary Expansion, the Nanosaurus, or this dinosaur actually replaced the Nanosaurus. That was the Calavosaurus in some renditions of the novel, but not all of them. That was an interesting thing to learn. Going over here to the reskins or remodels, we would of course be looking at a book rendition of the Tyrannosaurus Rex, which is of course a very crimson red kind of a style according to the book's description. The Parasaurolophus, which has about the same kind of a body, kind of a greenish tone with a bright red head. The Dilophosaurus, which of course has possibly one of the most vibrant skins I've ever seen on an animal, which it was like bright yellow and black, and it had some red on the crest. They really did a pretty good job describing this. Velociraptor, I'm not 100% sure if the Velociraptor had a new style or described as a little bit different. I'm not 100% sure, but if there is, I'm sure they would come up with a little bit better of a reskin for the raptor. If not, it would stay exactly the same as where you have. Same goes for the Triceratops. I believe in the book they describe the Triceratops to have a bit of a bluish tint, which they did kind of incorporate in the Return to Jurassic Park skin. So that would be really cool to have if it's not already in there. That's why I've got question marks with the Triceratops, Stegosaurus, and Brachiosaurus. We're not 100% sure on how those go. If they had any different kind of reskins. They did already reskin most of these dinosaurs again for the Return to Jurassic Park. So those would probably just stay exactly the same. But that's, again, why there's a question mark. Probably should have put one with the raptor. But I decided to keep it with just those three. And then last but not least, we would be looking at the Carnotaur, which the Carnotaurus actually played a big role in the Lost World style of the book, where it was able to camouflage. So we would be able to take the Indominus Rex trait and give it to the Carnotaur, where he would be able to actually be able to camouflage. I don't know if they would want to do a reskin on it or a remodel where it kind of... I feel like if it's a chameleon-esque Carnotaurus, it'd be having a little bit of like chameleon eyes and a little bit bigger horns and all that, but I don't think they would go that in depth. Probably just give it a little bit slender of a skin or a model, make it a little thinner than what we have currently in the game now, and give it the ability to camouflage, give it some bright, vibrant greens and reds to give it that kind of a veiled chameleon style. But yeah, that is what I have here for the species. I hope you guys like how I coded each little animal name with its skull and the color of its type. You know, because all dinosaurs have types. They're just Pokemon, you know. All hadrosaurs, of course, being green, or hadrosaurs. Herbivores being green, and of course the carnivores being red. Let me know what you guys think below. If you guys would have any other animals that you would prefer to see be added to the game. As far as I know, these are all the ones that take place or that actually appear in the actual park in the book. But the only ones that I know mainly people have been needing are the Microceratus, and I definitely wouldn't be against the Hadrosaurs. I'm always for more Hadrosaurs being added to the game. Moving on from there, we're going to be looking at returning characters or characters that have not been introduced yet to the series, which would be John Hammond, Alan Grant, Ian Malcolm, Ellie Sattler, Robert Muldoon, Lex and Tim, Dennis Nedry, Ray Arnold, and Dr. Henry Wu. Now, a good chunk of these characters have already been in the series, or in the game, I should say, and have been voiced by either their actual counterparts or someone who is closely related to them. John Hammond, I swear, is John Attenborough, or is it John Attenborough? No, not is it maybe Richard? I don't know. I'm drawing a blank here. The gentleman who does such amazing discussions and voiceovers for Planet Earth. But there's a few other characters on here that have yet to be reprised in the game, which would be Robert Muldoon, Lex and Tim, Dennis Nedry, Ray Arnold. Now, of course, we no longer have the actor who played Robert Muldoon. Just like we don't have John Hammond, and we also, actually, no, that's pretty much it. Out of this entire list, John Hammond and Robert Muldoon are the only two that have passed away. May they rest in peace. But having Robert Muldoon come back would be a very interesting discussion. Just having his character, come back would be absolutely amazing. Lex and Tim are, of course, still around to this day, but by this time they're much older, so we'd have to have some new voice actors come in, or maybe they would have one for Lex. Tim probably hit puberty like it hit him like a truck, so he definitely has a deeper voice. So Lex and Tim would have to be changed up, at least Tim would. Bringing Lex and Tim back would be awesome to have them give their insight on what's going on, or maybe we could cover this in Jurassic Park era, but post John Hammond after he's already passed away. Not sure where we would want to go with a story. Having a storyline for this would probably be the most difficult. I have no idea where we could go from this, because the storyline that I came up with before was the storyline for Return to Jurassic Park, and I actually predicted that before Return to Jurassic Park actually dropped. As for Dennis Nedry and Ray Arnold, having the two of their character or actors come back to reprise their role, Wayne Knight and, of course, Samuel L. Jackson, having them return to do their voices for their characters would be absolutely amazing. Now, having Dennis Nedry in here would be pretty interesting because, well, we don't necessarily know why Dennis Nedry would still be alive, because the whole reason Jurassic Park went into ruin was because of Dennis Nedry's actions. So maybe having Dennis Nedry pop up just for a few times or whatever. I should have put what's his name, Cabot Finch, in here. That would have been really cool to have. And having like a little argument between Cabot and Dennis Nedry would have been an interesting thing to hear. I just love hearing Wayne Knight go off on him, or just whatever. Just hearing the banter between the two of them, and hearing the banter between Dennis Nedry and John Hammond would be much appreciated. Again, having Ray Arnold, Samuel L. Jackson as Ray Arnold, having him come back as if he did not die. Or maybe we could kind of go into a story where he is still alive, he's just missing an appendage. That would be very interesting to have. I'd love to hear his voice in this game, because I remember playing Jurassic Park Operation Genesis, and of course it wasn't actually Samuel L. Jackson's voice, but having Ray Arnold pop up whenever you used your map, just the hey, or the no, that was pretty much all I can remember. Just having him in there was always fun. And Dr. Henry Wu, of course, he'd just be there to be Dr. Wu. You know, do what he does best. Woo things up. But yes, that was a thing I just said. Woo things up. Dr. Wu, you are now a verb. So yeah, this is my list of characters that I think would be really good to come back. If you guys have any other ideas or a better idea, who would you add? Who would you remove? And do you want them to all be voiced by their original cast? Of course we do. That makes the most sense. Or at least who's still around anyway. But let me know what you guys think below. On to the next topic. Now, I, for one, am most looking forward to the new scenery or the buildings that we'd be able to get within the 30th anniversary expansion. Those, of course, being a balloon tour, a roller coaster, dinosaur statues, a John Hammond statue like in Jurassic World, animatronics, fountains, rocks, planters, of course, signs and banners, archways, and of course, the boat tours. Three of these things have actually played a role in the Jurassic Park franchise, but have not actually been used in game, those being the balloon tours, the roller coasters, and the boat tours. We have enough tours, in my opinion, but a balloon tour or a boat tour would definitely make things a lot more interesting. Having a lagoon or just something where you can kind of go through a different river, make your own River Nile like I am, and have actual boat tours going through that. I think that'd be really cool. You could do kayaks or a boat kind of reminiscence to the one in Jurassic Park 3. Either one. I really do think that those would be the most important and most needed in this game. A lot of people have been wanting more attractions, and this would definitely be it. We're stepping in the right direction with the the zip line, but I really do think that we could do better. Of course, we've talked about a roller coaster enough. Pretty much everything we do or talk about attractions, a roller coaster ends up being involved. Why we don't have a roller coaster yet, I have yet to figure that out. But unless, again, I've said it before, I've said it 1,000 times at this point, you can do a basic pre-built structure and just have a roller coaster animated on there with cheering and screaming and all that, things that would actually happen on a roller coaster. Maybe be able to recolor it would be really cool, change the lights, or even be able to change what the coaster car itself looks like. Having the Velociraptor or the T-Rex style car from, Camp Cretaceous Hidden Adventure would be really interesting to have. Animatronics, of course, are kind of leaning again in that direction from the Camp Cretaceous special Hidden Adventure special on Netflix. But then again, it would kind of be a little bit difficult to do so because animatronics were one of the things that John Hammond said that there were none of in Jurassic Park. So having animatronics would more or less just be there for us and not really for anything else. I do think having some cheaply made or cheaply animated dinosaurs just there to move around, occasional sound effect would be absolutely fantastic. But then again, that is also where we can lean into the dinosaur statues themselves, whether we're actually looking at stone structures or skeletons like the Spinosaurus that we got not too awful long ago. either one would honestly be really cool. There's a DLC, or not a DLC, but a mod that was released and covered by Best in Slot not too awful long ago, going over all these different statues of pretty much one of every dinosaur in the game. Do I think that the game could handle that many statues in its inventory? Probably not. It'd probably be chugging along. But I do think that it would at least be worth it to add quite a few new species of dinosaurs to the decoration list. We only have the Spinosaurus and some Pteranodon like on a stick. Pteranodons on a stick, and of course the trying to think what else there is. I know there's another animal like Spinosaurus skull on a planter, but that's just about it. We definitely could use more. Fountains, of course, I'm always here for more fountains. Maybe a mosasaur fountain would be absolutely fantastic. Just to have it, not really that we need it. There was no mosasaur in Jurassic Park to my knowledge. There was in Jurassic Park the game, but the novel and the game are completely two different things. Of course, new rocks and new planters. Signs and banners, like we already have the lit signs and the lit banners. Maybe some archway style banners where it's just like two poles and a banner goes across. Stuff like that. Just really interesting things. I mean, it's not too awful big, but archways would be interesting. You can have some for gardens. You could have some in each style of each park. So Jurassic Park, The Lost World, Jurassic Park 3, World 2, World 3, you get the idea. And of course, I can't talk tonight. And of course, the boat tours, which we've already discussed. So with my favorite portion out of the way, it's on to my second favorite, which of course is going to be the quality of life changes and or just a little bit of updates to the actual game itself. These would include new animal behaviors, new guest behaviors, film-themed music, music speakers in park, which I'll get to those two here in a minute, all biomes in sandbox, more photo options, all foliage in sandbox, storms equal no damage in sandbox, new filters, and of course swimming dinosaurs. Now, not all of these dinosaurs would be swimming, of course. We're looking more like Spinosaurus, Baryonyx, Sucho, or Suchomimus, however you say it, and then possibly some new aquatic dinosaurs or reptiles that would be able to go on land and in water. Just having that ability for them to swim, and of course, as you guys can tell, I'm not going in order on how all these look, but just having certain animals swim, like the Nothosaurus or the previous mentioned dinosaurs, would be absolutely fantastic to have in game. Now, going back up to the top of the list, when I say new animal behaviors, that kind of leads back in with the swimming dinosaurs as well, or swimming reptiles. Just having new animal behaviors where they interact with each other differently, maybe interact with the guests differently, or just interact with their environment differently. Maybe during storms that they tend to, instead of just randomly freak out during storms, maybe they tend to, like when a flash of lightning hits, and they kind of jump or jolt, which that's obviously not going to be able to be done, but in a perfect world, that's what we'd have. When I say new guest behaviors, I do mean indeed having things where they interact with their environment a little bit more. We have all these benches and picnic tables and all that, and guests just tend to either walk around them or walk straight through them. They don't actually interact with them. Now, necessarily, they don't have to walk up to it and then animate with it. You can, just having benches placed where you would, and then like a guest would randomly already appear on it, kind of like with certain buildings, that's perfectly fine with me. At least it breathes more life into the scenery, and it breathes more life into the guests to make it seem like, okay, people are actually using these. There's no reason why we need to have all of these booths and seating arrangements throughout the park, and every single one of them are empty. There's no reason for that. At least add some static guests to them, or they're just sitting there eating or drinking, or even just sitting on a cell phone, whatever. Just having the guest sitting at some sort of thing or interacting with something is really a good idea. It just breathes a little more life into the game and into your park. Now, when I go into film-themed music or music speakers in the park, it would be really cool if you would be able to have background music that takes place or is from the actual films themselves, or something very close to it. We actually, to my knowledge, received pretty much the exact same music from Jurassic World Evolution 1 on to Jurassic World Evolution 2. Nothing new at all to my knowledge. They had intros. The main theme was updated to be more like Jurassic World, and then each Chaos Theory got its own film rendition theme based more with the game, which was absolutely awesome. I love it. You're probably hearing it right now in the background as we speak, but my point being, it would be nice to have a little tick where you could click that and you'd be able to hear more themed music from the films playing in the background while you're working on your parks or just playing the game in general, instead of always hearing the same Jurassic World Evolution style music every single time. Unfortunately, with this game, the music was very unmemorable. Jurassic World Evolution 2 had better music in terms of, like I said, the movie themes and the Chaos Theory themes and the more Jurassic World-esque theme on the main menu, but it didn't have any music that really stuck with me. Unlike Jurassic Park Operation Genesis, every bit of that music stands out, and when you hear it, it just always makes you feel good. You always feel nostalgia, and it's just a good feeling to hear the music in Jurassic Park Operation Genesis. We need more of that in Jurassic World Evolution 2. More all biome options in the sandbox, of course, is exactly what it says on the tin. All the biomes available in the sandbox mode, so that people can actually make multiple themed areas to their park. We do get themed buildings and everything, which is all hunky-dory, but having all biomes available would be absolutely amazing. Give us true customization in the end of this game's lifespan. That way we can really just go ham with it. More photo options, of course, allowing you to have extra filters, which kind of leads down there into filters. New abilities such as a freeze mode, which I think we do actually have a pause mode, but have things such as slow-mo, maybe have a depth of field or field of view or depth of view, however it is said, being able to where, you know, if you want to make good thumbnails for videos, you don't have to have a PC in order to do so. You can focus on a dinosaur and then the option to fuzz out the background or blur it out so that the dinosaur stands front and center, clear as day in the frame, makes some much better pictures than you currently can do in game now. Going into all foliage and sandbox is the exact same thing with the biomes. As it says on the tin, you get access to all foliage in sandbox mode. This would, of course, bog up the list of scenery, just like it would if we did the original idea for all the animatronics or statues of all the other dinosaurs. That would indeed bog up that little section there, but I'm sure there's ways they could go about doing it. Moving over to the storms equal no damage in sandbox. I, for one, do occasionally like thunderstorms appearing in my park. I love the lightning, I love the thunder, but it gets annoying that even in sandbox mode, buildings will get destroyed during a thunderstorm. So it would be nice to have an ability where you can not receive damage. Your buildings do not get damaged. Nothing gets damaged from storms. That storms truly are just there as show and sound effects. And that covers pretty much everything in this particular topic. So we are going to go ahead and move on to the biggest part of this, which is, when would this be released? Now, the one thing you're all asking, when will this come out? I've had a lot of comments in my comment section telling me that June 11th of 2023 would be the best time for this expansion to drop, because that is indeed the 30th anniversary of when Jurassic Park released. This would be a really, I think it's just the perfect date. I do hope that, in a way, that would not be the actual release date in terms of like the last expansion that they do, because that would be a much earlier ending to the game than Jurassic World Evolution received all those years ago. So I do think that if this were to drop on in June of 2023, that maybe it wouldn't be as large as what we're getting now. I do think that everything in the content that we have here probably would equal out to about the size of the Jurassic World Dominion Biosyn expansion and the Malta expansion probably combined. The price tag on everything here would probably be quite up there, unless a lot of these were involved in the free update that goes alongside the expansion or the DLC, as we usually see during those drops. A lot of those, probably from the scenery, would be kind of split between or amongst the free update and the actual expansion itself, alongside with the quality of life features that could be kind of split into as well, with some being involved with the expansion at release, and then some being involved during that free update. But I think we've talked quite enough. So let's mark it on our calendars, June 11th of 2023. Let's circle that date and see if that is when we have a release date, or at least know something prior to that, of a Jurassic Park 30th anniversary expansion pack or DLC, whatever. Pretty much the same thing. But like I said, I think we've talked long enough in this video. This video is already pushing almost a half hour long. So if you guys have sat all the way through this, first of all, thank you so much. And if you have, let me know in the comments below, if you've made it all the way to this point, what name do you prefer for the Tyrannosaurus of Jurassic Park? Roberta or Rexy? A lot of people seem to be leaning towards Rexy, but it looks like Frontier tends to kind of lean towards Roberta sometimes. So let me know, if you guys have made it this far, which name do you prefer, Roberta or Rexy? I look forward to reading your comments below in the comment section, because that's, where comments go. If you guys have any questions or any concerns, or have any better ideas or something that I missed in this video, please, by all means, leave that comment. If you guys enjoyed this video, leave a like. And if you have not yet subscribed to this channel, I do beg that you subscribe, because we are trying to grow to 3,000 subscribers by, by 2023. I highly doubt we could do it, but hey, we managed to grow as big as we did in a short amount of time to begin with. I think we can do it again. So, if you guys enjoyed, leave that like, subscribe if you're not yet subscribed. Let me know below what you guys think about everything we've discussed. And until then, I will see you guys in the next video. This is Brooding Gamer, signing out.